RIP to Rakim Hasheem Allen, aka known to his fans, PNB Rock. You know, y'all, like when I seen a post yesterday on YouTube, the post said that he was, unfortunately, he was shot, but the status was unknown. And for a minute and for a second, I was like, you know what, man, I just hope it's fake news. And then following that, you start to hear the reports, then you start to see the headlines. And I watched a couple of posts, and people are talking about how, you know what I mean, like his girl, she dropped the location on Instagram, and that could have possibly led to people running up on him. Could be true, could be not. Fact is, it was also reported that recently she had just got her Instagram back because I believe she stipulated that PNB actually, you know what I mean, like I guess took a password, changed the password or whatever, you know what I mean, so she couldn't gain access to her account, and she just recently was able to utilize that account. And I'm not saying that's fact or fiction, that's just what I heard on the internet. But I will say this: if it is true, that just shows you not only the power of the internet, but it just shows you of the power of having that ability to broadcast your life, what you're doing, your location, or whatever. Could be detrimental because you got people out here hating on people with nothing, struggling in the same ways in the same streets that a lot of folks is. And these folks get hated on astronomically. So just imagine if you rich, you trying to do something for yourself, you're a public figure, everybody in the world know your name, sing your songs, whatever. You have millions of followers on multiple platforms. Imagine if you live in that life, like PNB Rock, like so many others. You know people will be not only hating on you, but you know folk will be coming for your head. Just because of who you are, what you have, and the fact that they don't have, and they want what you have. It's easy to take what somebody has in some cases. It's easy to fraud somebody or whatever the situation may be to gain something that somebody else has because you have nothing, because you are too lazy to work and grind like somebody else has to become what they have become. It's easy to do that. And the simple fact that they gunned this man down in a public restaurant for his jury or whatever, you know what I mean? I mean, that's lame. That's lame. I've been in the hood all my life, and there's nothing about when I hear that shit that it resonates to me like whoever did that was a real one. And just to let y'all also know, I'm also from Philly, and Philly right now is a war zone. So PNB Rock, he's no stranger to the slums. He's no stranger to quote unquote inner city violence. He's no stranger, you know what I mean, to being around certain environments where you have people, you know what I mean, that could be out possibly looking for you, gunning for you, whatever. Now, when you say that, you also say this. Folks say, you know what, like he should have had security, because even though we want things to be how things should be, things are not as they should be. And that's a fact. Shout out to the Breakfast Club, Envy, Charlemagne, Angela Yee, because they spoke on this. And pretty much like DJ Envy was like, you know what I'm saying, like you should be able to ride around in the car that you have because you work for it. You should be able to walk around with the ice that you have because you paid for it. But then Charlemagne had the rebuttal, like, you know what I'm saying, that's just not the reality that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact is, you have a lot of hating ass people out there who want what you have. They didn't grind for it. They didn't put the time in the studio or the office or whatever. And everybody that's rich or successful ain't a rapper. You know what I mean? It could be a YouTuber, a doctor, lawyer, somebody who started a business from the ground up and became successful and just tried to give back. Shout out to Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just quote unquote rappers. Anybody who became something from nothing is a target. Anybody trying to aspire to be something from nothing is a target. Because you have people that are nothing, who do nothing, who is about nothing. And the fact that they see you trying to come up and elevate yourself, yes, above them, but more importantly, it's not above that. It's because they have and they see something in themselves. They see the greatness within themselves and they want to aspire to be more. These are the type of people that become targets. These are the type of people that become victims. So how is it wrong for these people to defend themselves against such people? I ask y'all to ask yourself that question. Because in my opinion, you shouldn't have to walk around with a whole bunch of security, even though I understand why people may say that. But once you reach a certain social status, you should be able to walk around with whatever you need to protect yourself. And if anything ever transgresses and jumps off to the point where you have to elevate the situation and defend yourself, you should be able to do so with extreme prejudice. And nothing should be held against you. Just because of y'all know who I am, y'all know what I'm about. Matter of fact, more importantly, rather, you know what I have, and you know people is going to be coming for that. And if it's a situation where people do try to come for that, try to come for what I have built and try to take it because they feel as though they can, then I should be able to do what I have to do. They feel as though they doing what they got to do to take what I got, so I should be able to do what I have to do to keep what I got. And I say that for anybody, even the folks that monetarily may not even be on that level yet, but as I said, they're still prey because they're trying to aspire to become more. And that's even dangerous to some people, especially when they see that drive and they see that potential in you. And they know, you know what, like one day this person, he or she, they are going to be something. While I'm still out here fucked up with nothing, still living off of the system, still scrambling, still bumming, they are going to make and they're going to live their dreams one day. Because you know what? I seen them when they was out there grinding and doing what they had to do to become what I knew they will become. So you got some hating ass niggas, they will try to take you out way before you can reach that goal or way before you can reach your potential. So if you feel as though that you have to protect yourself, your family, the whole nine, so you can see and bring to fruition a life that you want for yourself and your family, I think that they shouldn't be able to hold that against you. I can't say what God is going to do, but I'm just speaking about the matters and the emotions and the natures of men and women. So it's sad, man, that this guy had to lose his life. His kids, you know what I'm saying, had to grow up like, you know what? Like, I heard my pop was the shit. I heard his music was fire. But instead of hearing these stories from the old man himself, they have to hear these stories from other people, from the internet or whatever. That's sad though. Like, somebody was like, you know what? Like, it's like being a rapper is the most dangerous job on the face of the earth. And I think I heard Boosie, shout out to Boosie, I think I heard Boosie say that one time too. And that's bad, because once upon a time, like, being an MC, being an artist, rap artist or whatever, that was like the next best thing coming out of the hood from being a quote unquote sports star or figure, was being like a rapper, because you're talking about the plight and the struggles of what's going on in the inner city. But now it's becoming like, on some other tip, you dig what I'm saying? It's like, and me being a hip hop head, a lot of this new music out now, I don't even naturally gravitate to, because most folks ain't saying nothing. They're not talking about nothing. Melodically, a lot of the music sounds good, but phonetically and what these people are saying is empty. It's nothing. So I just have personally, me as a music lover, I have a hard time gravitating to a lot of that shit that I hear. So I find myself listening to a lot of oldies, you know what I'm saying? Like 90s hip hop, Biggie, Nas, so on and so forth. Shout out to Jay. But PNB Rock, I was a fan. I did listen to his music. He was nice. He did have talent. He didn't reach the level that he reached out of luck. No, he came from Philly. You know how hard it is to blow coming out of Philadelphia? You know what I'm saying? Talk to Meek Mill, talk to Beanie Siegels, you know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. And the countless other talent that is not only in the city, but has came out of the city. Your Will Smiths, your Kevin Harts. You know what I mean? Like, Philly is a hard place to not only live, not only to come up, but to survive. There are certain things and principles in that city, in those streets, that you have to live and you have to grow up in to understand. If you are the outside looking in, as they say, you won't understand how, quote unquote, a Philly person necessarily moves, because you didn't grow up like they did. The neighborhoods and the slums of Philly is like no other in the world. And it's, trust me, plenty of other slums in the world. But if you're from Philly, you understand what I'm saying. If you visited Philly, and I'm talking about, you didn't just visit, but you spent some time in this, you spent some time in the streets, and you know how, and you've seen how things move and how people operate. You may understand what I'm saying, but if you have not, it may go over your head a little bit, but that's okay. Just know that it's different. So I say that to say this: PNB Rock coming up how he did, coming from where he came from, like he knew how it felt to come up with nothing. So for him to come up and come out of the city and just be living his life was not only a blessing, but for somebody to try to take that, I mean, that's not only tragic, it's not only sad, but for real, they had no right. Because he had the right not only to live because he's a human being, but he had the right to shine. He had that right. So I understood what DJ Envy was saying, and I also understood what Charlemagne was saying. Because although he had that right, the simple the fact of the matter is, in today's society, the haters is winning. And some may not understand this, but in the world of good and evil, the devil is winning. Because how can you have the good, as they say, the good die young? How can you have people like Nipsey that not only took his success, but he tried to bring his success back to his neighborhood and try to enrich his neighborhood, build his neighborhood back up by putting money into it, and his neighborhood or people within it took him out? That's sad. That shit like that shouldn't happen, but that's the world we live in. Rest in peace to Rakim Hasheem, alle, aka PNB Rock. Blessings on your family, your children, your girl, your mother, everybody. Because I know right now, I know this is like, I'm talking about like, this is a gut punch. Not only for his family, but for the city of Philly, for his fans, and just for people who respect the real shit in the world. And he might not have been perfect, but how he went out, like a lot of other people went out, was nutty. He deserved to be able to live and eat. You can't even eat financially no more. You can't even eat theoretically no more. You can't even have a nice meal without somebody coming to hate and take your life away. Talk Nation Stand Up is your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't like what I said because you shouldn't. Comment on what I said because you should. Subscribe if you support the channel. Peace. I'ma holla at y'all.